Do you enjoy the transition from computer science to product management?
I do. Yeah, I think it was a better fit for me. I liked, as I said, I liked technology problems, and I think, learning about new technologies is definitely fun. I think the day-to-day of, being a computer scientist or a software engineer versus being a product manager, that being a PM fit my, I think my passion a little bit more.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you open up an iPhone, most of it is battery. It's there's probably one large chip in there, a large piece of silicon that's doing most of the processing for all the things that the iPhone does. There may be a few small chips here and there, but the large chip is the most important one. Actually, if you have multiple chips, the cost of sharing work between multiple chips is actually very expensive, and so there's a lot of motivation to integrate all the work into one piece of silicon or one chip. And so that's the way the industry has gone, and today most of the name of the game is to put as much hardware on a single piece of silicon as possible. What made you go into engineering as opposed to some other pursuit?
Yeah. Well, in high school, I did not want to do engineering. I didn't have any really good math teachers. I didn't have good physics teachers who really inspired me to kind of take that on. It was very much like, okay, this is what the math problem is, and this is how you solve it. Go do that. And so I thought math was hard. I thought physics was hard. I thought computer science was for boys. I didn't want to have anything to do with it in high school. All of my friends were the same way. I think it was very much like a mass, like everyone around you kind of thinks the same.
I guess you could have hardware without software, but it may not be the best experience for most of us. So for example, if I have a camera that's simply taking pictures, a pinhole camera, that's hardware without any software. But a pinhole camera without any processing of the pictures will not take very pretty pictures. So being able to take those pictures and apply various rules to the pictures makes them more consumer friendly or usable. So software is definitely an enhancement to hardware. You could have hardware without software, but maybe not very user friendly. And then above that is, at a next higher level of abstraction, is the whole software team, which itself has, different levels of contribution. And then above everything else is the app developer, who doesn't know anything about the transistors that are, built at the lowest level. All they know is they see certain rules or functions that they can take advantage of, and there's this whole stack or hierarchy that's been built, and the app developer takes advantage of those rules and develops their app. Yeah. But there's a lot of engineering, years and years, decades of engineering that goes into putting one of these together. And we've used the iPhone as an example, but the same is true of any device, whether it's a computer or even your DSLR, your camera. These are all devices that take a tremendous amount of engineering.
Just like talking about your background is like, it's so impressive, right? IIT, Stanford. I would be curious to know, what is one time that you failed? Like, what is one time that things didn't go well for you or as you planned? And then how did you kind of cope with that and then get out of that situation, or kind of cope with that situation?
Sure. And when we talk of failure, it's something that may not have happened early in life, but failure is a constant in all our lives. If we all look at our past experience, success is less of a constant than failure. We all face failure in many, many ways every day of our lives. Maybe it means that you went for an interview and you didn't make the interview. Maybe you want a job really badly, or a project at your job, and you don't happen to get that. Or maybe you want to impress somebody and that person underestimates you. That's a failure too. So it's something that's a constant in our lives. And the one thing I want to say about failure is, looking back on failures that I've had, there isn't a single one of those that I didn't grow from. Each one of those is an opportunity for growth, for learning a different way of doing things, maybe reaching out for a different opportunity than the one you were targeting before.